I can hear you.
Oh, we can hear you.
I
Yeah,
said
well,
you're smiling. That's a good thing.
I am.
I'm about to send you to the corner and put on the dunce cap.
I'm about to give thanks. We got turkey and stuffing and casserole right around the corner.
Yes, we are gonna
Um,
do. We are gonna do a little
Moonshine for
segment
David.
today.
Well, I mean, in real
I
excited for the
got
food.
beer, pie, pumpkin pie, beer, and football.
Yes, I see that pumpkin pie is leading heavily in the poll so far.
But
Total
hey, I
bullshit.
want to be
Apple pie
clear.
is definitely underrated.
No, because you know what? The next best pie, and it's a very close next best. Because look, apple pie is just apple pie. There ain't nothing special about no apple pie. I'm sorry. Like everybody, you know what? Saying that you're American as apple pie is like from 1940. Because you know what? The number one consumed pie on Thanksgiving in the world, not only America leads it, but the world is pumpkin pie. You know why? Because it is the best. Apples just meh. Like it ain't bad. But
No.
like I don't like I
Shut
never
your
wake up
poor
with a
mouth.
craving for apple pie, right? Like I get a craving for pecan, I get a craving for French silk, I
First
get a
of all,
craving for cheesecake.
talking to
I get a
Southerners
craving
now.
for pumpkin pie. Do not get a craving for apple pie. If you put apple pie in front of me, tell me it's free and it's homemade and it's delicious, I will eat it. I'm not going to pay for it, but I will eat it.
Thanks, Dillon. Appreciate that, jerk.
Oh, and people, when you decide to vote other parentheses comment, don't be afraid to actually leave a comment and say which pie you like. Just throwing that out
Pecan
there.
is the next one that should be leading. Apple should face apple.
It's
You know what?
pecan.
Pecan.
No. Say it correct.
Personally, one of my aunts makes a good chocolate pie that I enjoy every year.
See, chocolate pudding pie is good too. I will take a chocolate pudding pie over an apple pie. Especially if it's got whipped cream. Oh,
You two disgust me.
No,
there's nothing special about
whip or
apple
whipped
pie,
cream?
Dave.
If you go down to Savannah and you get yourself near Thanksgiving, you can go ahead and get yourself a nice slice of peach cobbler, a la mode. Mm-mm.
That was pretty good.
Well, I'm gonna go get me some pecan pie, and I'm gonna whoop your pumpkin, and I'm gonna take the
All right.
pecan and pumpkin.
I was talking like a Savannah, Georgia resident, not no freaking damn hillbilly mountain man up in the Rocky Mountains. Good Lord.
I'm gonna come down there and I'm gonna whoop your little city folk ass. You think that damn apple pie any good? It ain't no good. You can't get up no
sounds
pumpkin.
like the grandma from Beverly Hillbillies. I can't take it anymore.
Can't get no apple pie. There ain't no special about no apple pie.
When are you missing your teeth? It sounds like you're missing your teeth.
Dude, don't
Good
make me
Lord.
do it.
All right. No, we're not doing that right now. This First and foremost ain't ready for that right now.
I'm American.
They're not ready.
Pie.
I don't know if they can. Why now do you sound? Now you sound like the water boy.
Come on, get something
do this right
serious. Let's. God dang you.
Can't do this right now. Serious? Peach cobbler, I'm telling you. You're no South Carolina, Georgia border? Oh yeah.
Peach cobbler greater than apple pie.
No it isn't. Watch your mouth.
Wow.
If you've got fresh Georgia peaches and you got some of that fresh crumble and you make fresh crumble with fresh Georgia peaches
Dillon,
and a little bit of
what's
that
apple
extra
farm that we
sauce.
used to go to? What's that one that's right about an hour away from where we grew up?
Beacon Skiff.
Oh, Jay, I'm telling you, if you ever have a chance to go to Beacon Skiff Apple Farm, if you get off that island you're on,
I grew up
right
in like
now.
one of the best apple growing states in America.
Oh,
in
no.
Wisconsin. And
Shout
I've
out to-
had tasty apples. Dude, I have some of the tastiest apples ever in my life. I've lived all over the United States. I've ate apples all over the place. I'm telling you, I don't give a crap. And I
Never
love
had
apples.
Beacon Skiff homemade apple fritters.
I am the king of apples in my house. I have passed on my love for apples to my son. What I'm telling you with all of that, apple
he's telling
pie
apple
is
pie's
still
overrated.
meh.
Oh, dare you. Felt like I just got slapped in the face.
Just
Mm. All right, who quit making noises? Damn it.
That's not me.
Notifications. Anyways, what is next on the rundown, fellas? Dillon, we were just talking about Devlin Duck Hodges is the new starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, that is correct. Decided to make the switch. Old Mike Tomlin did. Mason Rudolph wasn't doing it for him. Wasn't giving that team the spark, he said.
You almost lost to the Bengals.
So in comes Duck Hodges. So, I mean, we'll see.
He tore it up when he came in.
Yeah, he played pretty well. So, going forward, we'll see. I mean, the Steelers are right there in the AFC playoff hunt, so it's an interesting time to make the switch. But, hey, he felt like it was the right thing to do, and if it pays off, he's a genius. If it doesn't, then a lot of questions for the Steelers in the offseason.
Well, you know what? I think they're a couple games away from getting Big Ben back. That's the thing. If they can get a couple more W's here and there before Big Ben gets back, maybe they make a tiny bit of a run.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good. They certainly have the defense for it. I mean, I don't know how all of a sudden Tyler Boyd just popped up out of nowhere and had the day he did
in like 6 weeks.
But yeah, I mean, for the most part, they've been a pretty solid defense, getting sacks and getting interceptions. Minka Fitzpatrick has just a crazy nose for the ball, and Pittsburgh's on a roll defensively. So if they can get it together on offense, I mean, we saw Benny Snell with a big day. So if they decide to roll with him next week, we'll see. They definitely need Juju back. And I don't know. Yeah, Pittsburgh's a dark horse team in the AFC that's definitely a lot more wide open than the NFC is.
I want to give a shout out to Deontay Thompson. The guy was bleeding out of his ear hole 1 week before, and he came back and was smoking defenses with Ducky Hodge.
Now, is that Johnson or Thompson?
Deontay Johnson, I'm sorry.
Okay, no, because there actually is a Deontay Thompson, so I don't know if
no,
it's on Pittsburgh.
I misspoke. The guy that was bleeding out of his ear hole. No, he came back, and as soon as Hodges came in, it's just he has a connection with him. He has a connection with James Washington, which I'm surprised. Mason played with James Washington in college. You'd think he'd like be in the same rhythm as him.
I know that was the storyline with Rudolph and Washington. That's the storyline with Haskins and McLaurin. And really, I mean, we've seen a few flash plays here and there, but nothing that's been like, oh, well, that must be it. That's it right there. That's why we drafted him. So
who do you think is the worst QB, Mason Rudolph or Tommy Maddox?
Oh, Mason Rudolph for sure. I like Tommy Maddox.
Of course you would. God. So Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer gets benched off of Santa's sleigh, and he will not be leading Christmas this year, folks. Just saying.
I have a soft place in my heart for mediocre quarterbacks. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I know you love Carson Wentz. Oh! All right, I got one more thing I wanted to talk about. So, Kaepernick had his workout, right, Dillon?
Yes, sir.
One of the wide receivers that went and worked out for him for his workout, Kaepernick still has no offer. The wide receiver, Bruce Ellington, got a offer from a team to go work out from Kaepernick's workout. Bruce Ellington, I haven't heard that name in forever.
Now, that is pretty gosh dang ironic, but Bruce Ellington is a relevant name in the NFL.
I know, but still. Like, hey, Kaepernick, we're holding an event for you. Okay, go do your own workout. Hey, you got Bruce Ellington there? Oh, cool. Hey, let's give him a workout. It was probably from a QB needy team, too. And I'm like, also, too, a thing came out today about how the NFL only gave Kaepernick a 2-hour window to accept their original offer for the workout. Not even like a full day, like a offer to play in the NFL contract. It's like, hey, here's 2 hours. Use it or lose it.
That whole thing got fudged up from the start, man. That was just a regular circus.
Yeah. If they planned it for the offseason, it would have been a completely different better situation, in my opinion. And instead of doing it in the middle of the season or on everybody else's programming, like when it was going on, and if it would have been on NFL Network, no one would have been watching it. They would have been at work. They would have been getting out of work. No one would have cared. Like I feel like still there was a chance to view it on Bleacher Report, and a lot of people still didn't tune in.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks, I heard a report that the XFL actually had to block an offer, I believe,
JJ.
to sign Josh Johnson back to their squad, and didn't work out for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, because they realized how bad Jeff Driscoll is. Good Lord.
So
Like,
that's a bummer. That's a bummer for Detroit.
Dwayne Haskins so good, he doesn't even need to be in for the final play and take a selfie.
Oh, yeah, that was embarrassing as well.
I mean, he was excited. I give him like credit for acknowledging, hey, I should have been out there. He goes, my fault. He goes, I thought the game was over already. I looked back and Case was taking the final snap. So it's not like he purposely did it. I feel like he's just a young kid. He was excited. He got his first win. You know, I mean, I didn't feel like it was that big of a situation compared to what other stuff was going on in the NFL at the time.
That was pretty bad. Also bad, my Philadelphia Eagles. The defense celebrating a turnover.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a score. It was simply a fumble that was gifted to them by Chris Carson, who just thought he was getting a fake and ended up just bouncing off his shoulder pad. Eagles pick it up, do the typical take the ball into the end zone, have a photo shoot, everyone's happy.
You usually do that when you're like winning the game.
Yeah. End up losing the game, granted by a touchdown, but also granted a garbage time touchdown that really doesn't count in my eyes. It was more for a moral victory. So shame on you, Philadelphia defense. You played such a good game. I realize you got to have fun when you can, but I mean, come on. Yeah, let's handle some business when we're down that much.
Ooh, handle some business.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it, Dillon.
Rich Eisen, he had a rant about it, and I feel the same way. If you're down 2 scores, then maybe save the celebrating for when it's tied or later on.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like you see Packers defense do it, but you don't ever see it do them when they're like losing. Right. You'll never see them do that when they're losing. They always do it when they're either winning or tied and trying to basically fire up, especially if it's like a home crowd. They do it at the home games to fire up the crowd, to get them going, which I fully understand. But if they did it like an away game where it was like 21-7, I would be pissed. So, yeah, that I fully back you on that. But since we're waiting on our fearless leader, Jay, the producer, I feel like if I yell, there's going to be an echo. You know what? I'm going to do this because I said I would do it. Top 10 mock draft right now for 2020. Dave Steger's first one. I'm going to go ahead and pump this out. You ready, Dillon?
I am ready.
Are you sure? Can you handle it?
I don't have one myself, but I'm very excited for yours.
All right. So, I have number 10, the Jets. So, number 10, currently the order we have now. Number 10, the Jets. A.J. Epinesa, from the edge rusher from Iowa. I feel like a couple of offensive tackles will be off the board already. I feel like QB's off the board. You don't need a QB because you got Darnold, and he's playing like he should have been at the beginning of the season if Demaryius Thomas wasn't secretly sent in with mono from Bill Belichick. So, I really think that edge rushers, since they're not a premium like they were last year, I think he can definitely do well because the Jets lost Mr. Williams to the Giants. So they lost someone to rush the quarterback, and he's also played inside a little bit. So it gives him that versatility to play inside and outside,
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Jets, you can list off the names, right? I mean, they've tried Aaron Maben, Lorenzo Malden.
Yeah.
Guys here and there, but really the only one that's worked out is Jenkins. He's been actually a pretty solid outside linebacker for them to rush the passer. So other than that, I mean, apparently they gave up on Leonard Williams. who never really was meant to rush the passer in that 3-4